Mm. Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rexy here. And for today, I decided to do something that I never really thought I was gonna do, but I decided whatever. So for today, I'm gonna be showing you off some of my personal hero designs. Yes, this is something that I have created, and I created it, I think around October this year, or last year, because we're in 2022 now. And this hero design is probably one of my favorites, so I decided to share it with you all. Now, granted, we're gonna be skipping through the backstory because it is long. If you know me and my hero designs, you know that I like to write down long stories. So, if you want to read it for yourself, I'm gonna leave the document down to the description. So, if you want to check out the backstory and you're interested, then you can always check it out. So, it's a Kingdom Rush Vengeance hero design, and the name of the hero is Stella, the demonic seductress. And she's spicy. We're gonna get to her in a minute though, because now we just have to scroll down, because look at all this backstory that I wrote. Oh my god, that's a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. And yeah, it is. I know. We're getting there, don't worry. I think we are about the end. Yeah, alright. Now, ready for the reference image? Just don't get horny. Here she is. Here's how she's going to be look like. Stella, the demonic seductress. Pretty spicy, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, come on, she's a seductress for a reason. And if you read her backstory, you're gonna understand why she is what she is. Otherwise, it just looks kind of strange, but yeah, whatever. If you want to read the backstory, as I said, it's in the description, so check it out. Anyway, now we're gonna get to her statistics. So, I know I got all the statistics from level 1 to level 10, but everybody's interested into what the hero can do at max level, so we're gonna get to level 10 right away. Feel free to look at the other stats though. So, at level 10 she has 469 HP with 69 regeneration per 2 seconds, and 69% magic resistance. I know, a lot of 69s, because the nice number. The nice number, or the funny number, whatever you want to call it. So, as far as efficient HP goes, it's 1513 efficient HP, or 1512.9 efficient HP. So yeah, 1513 efficient HP rounded up against enemies that have magic resistance. If you're facing up against someone who has armored, who deals physical damage instead of magic damage, then she's probably not gonna be as strong, but still. Magic resistance. That's one of my that's something that I like to add a lot, because you rarely see a hero who has magic resistance, so that's why I gave her magic resistance instead of armor plus. She doesn't really wear any armor, so it will make sense that she has more magic resistance, because reasons. So her damage, she deals magic damage between 60 to 90, and her attack speed is 1.69. I know, a lot of 69s. I know, I'm very mature XD. So, her attack damage, so on average she's gonna do about 44.3 magic damage per second, which is pretty decent. It's a pretty good amount of magic damage. It's not like super strong, but it's not super bad either. It's kind of in the middle. Movement speed of 3.4, I would say about medium to fast, and respawn rate of 16 seconds, which is not bad. Just 1 second more than, most champions. But in Vengeance, that's actually a pretty good respawn rate, if you think about it. So her attack range is 250, which is a decent amount of attack range. And here it is. Here's something about her. Her range damage is displayed in the table. Her melee damage will be 2.5 times lower than her range damage, which means that her melee damage at level 10 is between 24 to 36. So she's a ranged unit. You can use her in melee, but she's gonna do less damage, so keep that in mind. Just like with Magnus from the original Kingdom Rush, you wanna use her as a ranged unit. You rarely want her to get in melee fights, unless the enemy is dealing magic damage, so yeah. Okay, now let's get to the fun part. Abilities. We have the innate ability, which is Inspirational Presence. So here's what it does. When Stella is near an an Inferno Mage or Reinforcements, she will boost their stats, she will boost their attack rate and damage by 20% in range of 250. So as long as Inferno Mage or Reinforcement is in her range, in her attack range, they're gonna get boosted by 20% as far as damage and attack rate goes, which is pretty nice. I just did it because I want to see more heroes and vengeance that have unique interactions with certain towers, which, you know, the new dragon doesn't have that, so yeah, a little disappointed on that Ironhide, but, you know, my girl, she does have it. Stella can interact with towers uniquely, which is nice. So, let's move on to the actual abilities. Thorny Whip, Giggity. Cooldown of 20 seconds. Here's what it does. Stella whips the strongest enemy in her range, shattering his armor by 20, 30, and then 40% while leaving him bruised, which causes the target to take 21, 42, and then 69 true damage per second over 4 seconds. So it's a nice armor reducing ability. It doesn't really do that much, you know, it deals a good amount of true damage. It's not like bad for 20 seconds cooldown, that's pretty decent. It's a pretty good amount of true damage, and on top of that, you get the enemy's armor reduced, which, you know, it could help. It may not help out for her because, you know, she does have magic damage. But you know, if you're trying out a strategy where you're using a lot of towers that do physical damage, this could be helpful, especially if you're facing off a very strong enemy like a sorcerer, for example. So yeah, here's a few notes, just to describe the ability in a little bit more detail. She prioritizes the enemy who has the most health points, and it doesn't work against flying enemies, so yeah, that's something that I forgot to mention. Even though she is ranged, she doesn't attack flying enemies. That's something that I should have added probably in the beginning of the document, or somewhere around here, you know, in these notes, but I forgot because you know, I'm stupid sometimes. So yeah, even though she's ranged, she doesn't attack flying enemies. I know it is stupid, but trust me, that's just the way I want to design her. Moving on to the second ability, Dreadful Whip, cooldown of 12 seconds. Here's what it does. Stella spins in place, smacking all the surrounding enemies within a small AoE of 160, reducing their movement speed by 47, 58, and then 69%, and their attack speed by 20, 35, and then 50% for 3, 4, and 6 seconds. So yeah, it's a nice ability, I would say. It doesn't do any damage, but it does have a reasonably short cooldown, and on top of that, it gives a lot of debuffs. Not only do you reduce the movement speed of nearby enemies, but you're also going to reduce their attack speed. So she's gonna be, if you need to put her in melee, she can just whip everybody around her and make them slower and attack less frequently. So she has a higher chances of surviving, which is nice in case you need to use her to block. Which, you know, sometimes you gotta do that. Sorry. Okay, moving on to ability number 3, Demonic Temptation, cooldown of 35 seconds. Here's what it does. When she enters the melee mode, or when she is going to attack someone in melee, on her second attack, Stella will kiss her enemy, releasing a pheromone that makes him fight on her side for 4, 6, and then 8 seconds. When the effect wears off, the target dies instantly, and it doesn't work on bosses or mini-bosses. So yeah, that's a kind of an insta-kill with a little bit of a mausoleum possession on top. Because you're gonna possess the enemy just like the mausoleum, make him fight on your side for a little bit, and once the duration expires, he just dies, just like that. I don't know how. I don't know. I guess demons, you know, they just have their ways to kill people. So I guess the magic kills him. I don't know. I haven't really thought of the insta-kill part and why this happens, but you know, this is the fan-made hero, so it doesn't have to make like. Not everything has to make sense, right? He just dies because, you know, she's a demon. And if you read the lore, you're gonna see that she is actually quite a strong demon. She's not just your typical average demon. She has some pretty intense power. Moving on to ability number 4, Ignite. Cooldown of 24 seconds. And here's the description. When 2 or more enemies are present in her range, Stella will strike the enemy with her whip, igniting him and the surrounding enemies, dealing 100, 150, and then 269 true damage over 4 seconds, with a 50% chance of inflicting an additional 30 to 40, then 69 true damage over 3 seconds after the main effect. So yeah, this is kind of like her stronger AoE attack. It deals a good amount of true damage. It has kind of a splash effect. It's not really like a big AoE attack, it's more of a splash. kind of something like Ice Coat's attacks at tier 1, where he doesn't really affect too much enemies. You know, if you upgrade his AoE on his basic attacks up to tier 3, he affects a lot of enemies, but if it's like up to tier 1, the AoE size is something like this. So that hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better idea as to what the AoE size range of Ignite is. You know, that's just her strong ability as far as, you know, AoE damage is concerned. And yeah, she may seem kind of simple for now, but her ultimate though, oh, look at all these notes. Her ultimate now. Devilish Dance. Cooldown of 40 seconds. And here's the description. Upon being used, a podium will emerge out of the ground, with Stella being on top of it. Once the animation is over, roughly 2 seconds, because, you know, I estimated it to take something like that, she will start dancing, inflicting various effects upon enemies based on the distance they are from her for 6, 10, and 15 seconds. So yeah, we have a lot to memorize here, so let's give it a go. So, here's the notes. The range of this ability is going to be 660, which is the same as the Golden Longbow with max star upgrades, so it has a lot of range. And yeah, that's good. Depending on the distance from the epicenter, the enemies will receive the following effects. So if they're anywhere in range of 660 to 450, enemies within the radius will get their base stats, excluding their health, reduced up to 40%. So that's something that you should note. Something that you should note. Their health stays the same. You can reduce their attack speed, their movement speed, their attack damage, their you know, everything besides their health is getting reduced by 40%. To put it simply. So from 440 to 395, enemies within that radius receive 50% more damage from all sources for the duration of the skill, which is pretty strong. I know, 50% extra damage just like that, but I don't know, I probably should have reduced it up to like 35 or 40% to be more balanced, but you know, I want her to make her spicy, so 50% it is. Next one, if they're in range between 390 to 320, every enemy gets slowed down by 50% for the duration of the skill. While being affected, Infernal Mages can deal an additional 40% more damage to them, excluding Lava Fissure. So yeah, with the Infernal Mage with its basic attacks can do 40% more damage, but the Lava Fissure cannot really do that, which, you know, it's a little unfortunate, but the Lava Fissure is already a pretty strong spell, so buffing it by 40% felt like it's a little bit too good, so that's why I excluded it. And now here's the big one. If they're anywhere between 320 to 0, which the 0 is the epicenter, by the way, enemies within this radius will be forced to go down the path and fight enemies for the remaining duration of the skill. So it's like a very big AoE mausoleum effect with the possession. So yeah, it is pretty strong. You may be thinking that this ultimate is ridiculous, and it is, but here's the catch. Stella becomes immobile while using her skill, but cannot be damaged while using it. So you pretty much lose control over your hero. It just stays there and dances for 15 seconds, and it applies all these effects. So you want to put her in a really good position where a lot of enemies are going to be coming, and then just, you know, use the ultimate and get all of these effects. It's a little bit difficult to, you know, memorize all of this, but with time I feel like anybody can memorize it. If people can learn how to play with Durax to perfection, how hard would it be to play with Stella if she was in the game? And then here are her quotes. I was about to say quotes. The English, right? English hard. So, here are her hero quotes. Hello there, darling. Come to me, my little sweetie. I am your horny princess, Giggity. Don't you dare play with my emotions. And she also says that upon using her ultimate. Let's have some fun, boys. And her death quote, I will be back for your soul. So, that's pretty much all I have to say about Stella, the demonic seductress. Now, because this is my hero design, I'm not gonna rate it because, you know, it will be a little unfair. So I'll let you guys do the job for today. Comment down below what you think of this hero. Do you think that she is OP? Do you think that she is mediocre? Do you think that she fits in Kingdom Rush Vengeance? And if you're one of the real ones and you read the lore, then respect to you, man. I pay a lot of respect to you for your time. It really means a lot if you read the lore. But again, this is not necessary, but if you want to understand more about Stella and how she works, then I would recommend you doing that. And yeah, guys, well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.